Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 36 of Cute Little Love Letters, and this one is titled Class Bonding. While you and Denki were heading to Heights Alliance, Kendo had let Monoma go and was now talking to Momo about his atrocious behaviour. Listen, Kendo said to the bubbly Ravenette. I totally get where he's coming from a rival perspective. Our class has always seen your class as fair competition, but he can't be acting like this. It's just embarrassing, she huffed, crossing her arms across her chest. Well, I would like harmony, Momo replied with a sweat-dropped smile. We should organise this beach weekend bonding thing as soon as possible, she added. Well, what about not this weekend but next, Kendo offered. It's 2 weeks-ish away. That should give everyone plenty of time to get sorted and ask permission, etc. Yeah, that sounds good. Would you like to help me with the flyer tomorrow in the library? Momo asked her. Yes, let's do it, Kendo said with a nod, the pair sharing a goodbye before heading back to their own lockers and then across to Heights Alliance. Later that night, Denki left his room and headed down to Sero's room to chill. He was on cloud 9 about what had happened with you that day, and he wanted to tell someone about it. Hey dude, he greeted after knocking on his classmate's door. Oh, hey, Sero greeted him, looking up from where he was on his phone on his bed. What's up? Dude, you will not guess what happened today with Yin, Denki said as he stepped in and closed the door behind himself, and then walked over to the desk chair to sit down. What happened? Sero asked curiously, putting his phone down to listen. Dude, okay, so, Denki said with excitement bubbling in his voice. She was a little down this morning, and I didn't know what to do to cheer her up, so I asked Momo, and she said to write a letter, so I did, and it was a poem. Mina is MVP for that one. If it weren't for her, it probably would have been something like, sad, don't be sad, I don't know what to say, smile. And that would have been terrible, but Mina made it so much better, he ranted, his one-sided conversation continuing on. So then we had lunch, and dude, oh my god, he nearly screeched, so excited that he was nearly jumping off his chair. Bro, I actually legit held her hand, not on accident, no cap, no square, just straight up all facts, no printer, he said. Sero looked at him. Wait, so you held hands? He asked. Yes! Denki said emphatically. For how long? Sero asked. For a while-ish, but we held hands a few times today, and she actually wanted to. It was so amazing, Denki said, well beyond excited about this new development. Jeez, bro, I hope you didn't look this excited when you were holding her hand. That's super sweaty if you were getting all hyped over that, he said, with a sheepish chuckle. Nah, dude, I was chill as hell. I was rizzed up, you know what I'm saying? Denki said, as he sat back a little and hooded his eyes with a little eyebrow wiggle just to add to his suave look. Sero snorted through his nose and chuckled. Yeah, okay bro, congrats, he said with a grin. Thanks, dude. She's just so cute. I don't know what to do with myself, Denki sighed with a groan. Just make it official already, Sero said with a shrug. Denki, who had dropped his head back to stare at the ceiling by then, snapped it back to stare at Sero. You think so? He asked. Yeah, dude. I mean, you guys are already holding hands, right? You both like each other, so what's holding you back? He asked. Denki blinked at him. I don't know, he said honestly. Sero sighed and facepalmed. Dude, no, seriously, I legit didn't even consider it, Denki chuckled. Okay, I'll ask her out on a date and then, yeah, make it official. Okay, you do that, Sero said with a chuckle. That next morning, while you and Denki were walking side by side to school, Kendo and Momo were already in the library making flyers for the beach house getaway for Class 1A and Class 1B. It took them a little while, but eventually they made it, and both left the library with a handful of flyers each, some to hand out and one to hang on the announcement board in Heights Alliance. Sir? Momo asked as she knocked on the staff door that same morning. Yes, Yorozu, Aizawa, her homeroom teacher, asked as he looked up from his desk. Sir, I would like to ask permission to hang this flyer on the announcement board in Heights Alliance. Kendo Itsuka from Class 1B and I have been talking about creating unity between the classes, and we thought having a beach day and sleepover at my holiday house would be a great way to create team spirit and encourage class bonding, she said confidently, having practiced her line over a few times in her head to get the wording just right. Let me see it, Aizawa said as he held a hand out for her to bring the flyer over to him. She did so, and he took it from her and looked it over. Yes, this is fine. You've stated that parental permission is a must. Will your parents be at the holiday house? He asked. No sir, but our 12 staff will be there. I'm afraid it's only the minimum amount, she said regretfully. Aizawa stared at her for a few seconds and then nodded. That's fine, he replied as he handed the flyer back and gave her his permission. Happily she left to go and hang it up before school started, and Aizawa listened to her footsteps disappear down the hall. She has no idea how much money her family has, he thought with a shake of his head. 12 staff being the minimum, really? That day at school, you sat with Denki and held his hand secretly again, even walking so close together that your shoulder bumped into his arm when you weren't holding hands. And at the end of the day, you walked back to Heights Alliance with each other again. It was the funniest thing, Denki said with a chuckle, telling about the soccer match that had happened at school for Quirk sports class. It's madness when you can use your quirks. Bakugo blew up about 5 balls and Ida ran so fast he couldn't stop and he got tangled up in the goal nets. You cracked a smile and giggled as you imagined the chaos while he talked about it. Our class is a little bit more relaxed, you giggled, although Monoma has plenty of energy. Yeah, he does. I felt that guy's energy right on top of me, Denki said with a small shudder while chuckling lightly. He won't do it again, I promise, you said, pausing for a second to let the Heights Alliance doors open for you and Denki. As soon as you stepped in, you saw a small crowd had gathered around the notice board on the ground level, and you and Denki looked at each other before walking over to see what was going on. Hey bro, did you see this? Kiri called brightly when he saw you and Denki approaching. Denki shook his head as he walked over curiously. It's a Class 1A and Class 1B getaway at Momo's place, Kiri said. Say what? Denki asked with surprise. Momo's house? You asked. Yeah, our classmate. I'm pretty sure you've met her a few times. Black hair and a ponytail? Denki asked. Oh yes, Momo, I do know her. And it's for both classes? You asked. Yep, your classmate, Tetsu, called from somewhere at the front of the crowd. How good is that? Super manly, Kiri replied to him, the pair slapping hands in mutual excitement. Yeah, that's pretty sweet, Denki said from beside you. You gonna go, Yin? I want to go if you're going. That does sound like fun, but I'll have to ask my parents, you said. Yeah, it says on here to get parent permission, someone called from the front. Okay, you nodded. I'll ask my mum tonight. Okay, cool. I'll call my folks then too, Denki said with a bright smile. It'll be awesome. Later that night, after finishing your homework, you rang your mum. My night has just been made, she said as soon as she answered the phone. How are you, my lovely? Hi, Mum, you replied brightly. I'm having a good time at school, and there's going to be a beach stay happening, not this weekend, but next weekend with my class and the other hero class. Can I please go? There's going to be a staff at the house that we're staying in, so it's okay, he said into the receiver. I think that's a wonderful idea, your mum said, and you could feel her smile through the phone. I'm glad you called though, because I'm going to be at the markets this coming weekend, and I'd love some help. Do you think you'd be able to give me a hand at the stall? All fun markets. Stay tuned for next chapter, chapter 37 coming tomorrow. I'll see you then.